Today we're taking a look at these college basketball matches, which are happening on Sunday, February 19th, 2023, and giving you our team and total picks for today. Welcome back to High Stakes. Before we dive into our video, don't forget to subscribe and push that notification bell to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos, and make sure to watch it till the end so you don't miss any of our picks. Also check out our Patreon if you want to access our premium picks. Our Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. You will find the link in description and comments section below. One more thing before we start, check out our new channel High Stakes Props and Parlays, where you can find our player props and parlay picks predictions. You will find the link in the description and comment section below. Manhattan versus Fairfield. A key in Manhattan's earlier win over Fairfield was points off turnovers. The Jaspers had 16, while Fairfield had 9. Manhattan won despite being just 3 of 6 from the foul line, while Fairfield was 8 of 14. This season Manhattan is 7-3 against the spread on the road, while Fairfield is 4-6 ATS at home. Manhattan is 4-1 ATS in its last 5 road games, while Fairfield is 2-2 ATS in its last 4 at home. Take Manhattan plus 4.5 points. Both teams, especially when looking at points scored per 100 possessions above, are among the worst in the country. In addition, neither is great in adjusted tempo, with Fairfield averaging 65.2 possessions per 40 minutes according to KenPom.com. That was 299th nationally, entering Saturday. Manhattan was better at 67.4 possessions per 40 minutes, which was 183rd. Neither does a great job getting easy points in transition, with Fairfield averaging 7.73 fast break points and Manhattan 6.83. Plus Fairfield shoots just .273 from deep, which next to last nationally, 351st. Manhattan is better from deep .350, but Fairfield has the max best 3-point field goal defense, .286. The under has occurred in Manhattan's last 3 games. Fairfield has hit the over in its past 2 games, but the under is 3-2 in the Stags' last 5. Take under 129 points. Niagara versus Marist. Taking Niagara to cover their spread in this one for a couple of reasons. I will preface by saying that neither team is necessarily a favorite to win this one, so we are going with a lesser of 2 evils. Niagara poses a slightly better record and standing against the spread, going above .500 in each. In addition, on the road Niagara is an even 6-6 against the spread, while Marist is 5-8. A big factor in terms of gameplay will be Niagara's 3-point shooting, with the team shooting 35% from 3 on average, and Marist allowing opponents to shoot 37% from deep. Lastly, when these teams have faced off, the favorite has covered in 4 of their past 5 meetings, making me confident in taking Niagara to cover their spread in this one. Take Niagara -1. Taking the over in this one for the same reasons I am taking Niagara to cover. Neither of these teams have a formidable defense, with both teams relying heavily on their offenses. In other words, I expect this to be a shootout, especially when considering each team's 3-point shooting percentages. Niagara shoots the ball 35% from 3, and allows opponents to shoot 35.2% from 3, while Marist shoots the ball 30.8% from 3, and allows opponents to shoot the ball at a 37% rate from 3. In addition, both teams average and allow about 65 points per game on the season, which already puts our adjusted total over the given total. Marist has gone over in their past 5 consecutive games, and in their past 4 games following a loss, making me confident in taking the over for this matchup. Take over 126 points. St. Peter's Peacocks versus Iona Gales. Walter Clayton Jr. is leading Iona in scoring with an average of 16.3 points per game, while Nelly Jr. Joseph is the second leading scorer and the leading rebounder with averages of 15.4 points and 9.4 rebounds per game. Dennis Jenkins is the leader in assists with an average of 4.8 assists per game. Iona is scoring an average of 75.4 points per game, while shooting 45.7% overall and 33.9% from 3-point territory. St. Peter's looks to bounce back from a loss with a victory at home on Sunday when hosting Iona. The Peacocks are 10-14 overall and 5-10 in MAC play following a 68-52 loss to Manhattan last Sunday. Kyle Cardassi was the leading scorer for St. Peter's with 16 points. St. Peter's shot only 35.2% overall and 27.3% from three-point territory. The Peacocks were out-rebounded 43-29. Isaiah Dasher is leading St. Peter's in scoring with an average of 14.0 points per game, while Corey Washington is the leading rebounder with an average of 4.9 rebounds per game, and Latrell Reed is the leader in assists with an average of 3.8 assists per game. St. Peter's is scoring an average of 61.8 points per game, while shooting 38.4% overall and 29.1% from three-point territory. Our team pick is Iona Gales win. Iona will pick up its 7th consecutive victory with a win on the road Sunday against St. Peter's, but the play here is under. The under has cashed in each of Iona's last 5 as well as in 13 of St. Peter's last 17. In the first meeting between the two, a total of 128 points were scored, which finished under the closing line of 133.5 points. Iona's defense is holding opponents to an average of just 65.7 points per game. Our total pick is under 131.5 points. Northern Kentucky versus Cleveland State. Yes, Northern Kentucky's defense seemed to correct some of the problems that had previously plagued them on the road, but that also came against a suspect defense in Fort Wayne. Cleveland State's attack is light years better than what NKU saw on Friday night, and they've only been held to under 70 points twice in the 8 games since facing Northern Kentucky the first time. The Norse are also just 5-10 ATS this season when coming off a win, compared to Cleveland State's 10-6 ATS record in that same role. All of that on top of this being the end of a very comfortable 2-week stretch for Cleveland State at home, and their final home game of the year. It's a much better overall spot for Cleveland State in my view, as they find a way to cover this spread. Our team pick is Cleveland State -1. Given how both teams prefer to play, it's going to be a battle for who can dictate pace early and the most often, and the winner of that battle is going to give a nice edge to one side of the total result. If it's Cleveland State as I suspect, then it's the over here that is the play because they are the ones that prefer to get this game into the 70s if possible. If that's what ends up happening, I'll be plenty comfortable holding my Cleveland State ATS ticket, and just fine with an over bet as well. However, freshest memory of NKU's road defense is allowing just 50 to Fort Wayne on Friday, and if that carries over to this one and we get a second matchup between NKU and Cleveland State finishing in the high 50s or low 60s, it will be because NKU was able to dictate a slower pace more often. Given my preference for the home team on the side, it's the first scenario I believe to be more likely here, as Cleveland State still owns a 8-4 OU record at home and is 12-5 OU in conference play this season. The fact that NKU only allowed 50 points on Friday may actually help out this overplay, giving us a slightly lower total than deserved, as I'm not one to forget about NKU's defensive issues on the road prior to Friday. More than enough evidence to believe in this game going over 128.5 points. Butler Bulldogs versus Georgetown Hoyas. This game will be nothing short of a blowout regardless of what the spread says. The Butler Bulldogs have the better team and the better lineup in this game, and one win would make the Bulldogs .500 in the win/loss category. Our team pick is Butler Bulldogs -5.5 points. The Georgetown Hoyas have been terrible this season, no doubt, but one player has been giving it his absolute all this year. That player is Primo Spears. Spears has been one of, if not the only player on the Hoyas this season that is consistently producing. Spears is currently averaging over 37 minutes, 15 points, and 5 assists per game. Expect another excellent effort from Primo Spears in this game against the Butler Bulldogs. The Butler Bulldogs will enter this game against the Georgetown Hoyas following a tough loss this past Tuesday against the Villanova Wildcats, which resulted in a final score of 62-50. Despite the recent loss, the Bulldogs are still playing well lately as they have won 2 of their last 3 games. The Bulldogs will be -5.5 favorites in this one. The Butler Bulldogs currently hold an overall record of 13-14 and sit 9th in the Big East Conference. Although the Bulldogs aren't having a winning season this year, they still are playing some good basketball lately. The Bulldogs owe a lot of their success this season to Jaden Taylor, is averaging 29 points per game this season. Our total pick is over 138.5 points. Valparaiso versus Illinois Chicago. Taking Illinois Chicago to cover in this one for a couple of reasons. UIC has some more momentum coming into this one. They have started some of their freshman players that have came onto the scene and exceeded expectations. With that being said, the Flames have covered in 9 of their past 12 games against a team with a losing record. and have covered in 5 of their past 7 home games against a team with losing road record. Meanwhile, Valparaiso has failed to cover in their past 4 Sunday games. In addition, when these teams face off, the home team has covered in 7 of their past 9 meetings, making me confident in taking UIC to cover their spread in this one. Our team pick is UIC -1, taking the over in this one for a couple of reasons. Both teams allow opponents to score over 70 points per game on average, while scoring in the upper 60s themselves, already placing out total over the given total. In addition, both teams rank in the upper percentile in terms of adjusted tempo according to KenPom, meaning we can expect both teams to work at a quick pace, resulting in more possessions and in turn, more points. Valparaiso has gone over in 11 of their past 13 games against a team with a losing record, and have gone over in 5 of their past 7 Sunday games, making me all the more confident in taking the over in this one. Our total pick is over 141 points. Belmont versus Drake. Both teams are similar in scoring and shooting, each with 76 points per game and an FG percent of 47%. However, Drake has a better scoring defense, allowing only 65.3 points per game compared to Belmont's 70.4 points per game. Drake has an average rebounding margin of plus 4.7, while Belmont's rebounding margin is plus 2.6. With Drake's recent run both at home and on the road, it's hard to deny the Bulldogs have the magic needed. In their first matchup of the season on January 29th, Drake beat Belmont by 18 points. Drake is 4-2 ATS in their last 6 games. Take Drake to for the home win ATS. These teams are seemingly slower units that plod along. KenPom's adjusted tempo rating, Belmont sits at 147th and Drake at 242nd, but in reality, both typically go over due to a lack of super strong defenses on either side of a given game. Watch for a dogfight in scoring as the teams position themselves in their conference rankings. The trends we are seeing are over on each team. The total has gone over in every one of Drake's last 6 games, and over in 5 of 6 of Belmont's most recent games. That trend will continue, so go over 145 points for the win. East Carolina versus SMU. Full game, SMU has won 3 straight versus the spread. East Carolina is 3-2 against the spread in their past 5 games. The Pirates beat the Mustangs outright earlier this season. With no significant changes since the last meeting and with SMU struggling at home, look for East Carolina to play the Mustangs tough on the road and cover. Take East Carolina plus 7 points. SMU has gone over the point total in 4 straight games and 8 of their last 9. East Carolina has gone over in 4 of their past 5 games. Both defenses can let up a significant number of points. SMU and East Carolina currently rank 36th and 192nd in pace of play respectively. Most signs point to a higher scoring affair. Look for this game to go over 143 points.